Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Okay, so apparently so we now know that the intro plays for the folks watching, which is good, but not for us here in the studio. And Max is muted.
That's all that really matters is they get to hear it. But it kind of sucks because like that bass line in the intro gets me hype before every show, and now I don't get to hear it. It's like.
Well, Rumble is fixing things, so and they're nobody thought this this show would do well on Rumble. We've actually done better on Rumble than Max wasn't there for YouTube, but like we're getting at least double digits as opposed to kind of the end of the YouTube era when
I was there at the tail end of YouTube when the show wasn't doing its best, and then you got banned.
Yeah,
but I did look back at the the numbers, and yeah, it's impressive, the growth on Rumble. I know that there's criticisms of Rumble. People say fake views. Here's my response to that. Okay, fake numbers or whatever. One, I don't think our numbers are that far off from reality. Just like looking at trends and things. But two, if you think YouTube and these other sites don't like have fake views, you're insane. Who decides what a view is? YouTube, Rumble. They get to decide what a view is. Is a view 1 second? Is a view 20 seconds? Is a view 10 minutes?
Well,
we don't actually know.
And it's funny that you say that, Max, because I don't know if you saw this, but like about 2 weeks ago now, the SEC they did an investigation of Rumble, and they pretty much came back and said that exact same thing. So
right.
all these
aberrations in numbers. There are a few cases that I'm real skeptical of, but I'm not sure if it's Rumble's fault. One of them being that infamous Mersh video with millions and or like billions of views. Maybe that's a Mersh thing. I don't know. But our numbers are pretty consistent and seem to match up with other trends for shows of similar size. So I've always been maybe Rumble does really over promote certain channels. I wouldn't even blame them for that because, again, even if the SEC found that they were faking views out the ass, there's nothing wrong with that technically. It's not illegal. I did make an argument in a video that I made about this before, though. I believe that it's a little bit false advertising.
Yeah.
But YouTube does it. Twitter does it. Facebook does it. Everybody fudge. You know who fudges the numbers the best is TikTok. Say you have 10,000 followers on TikTok, that means you have like 100.
Yeah.
Just so everybody's aware. Nobody fakes views like TikTok, boy. If Rumble does kind of exaggerate its views, it's not even like a ×2 multiplier. It's by my estimation, it's around 10%, and I think that can actually be accounted for by hovered over the video for a second, or clicked and then left, or somebody scrolling through Twitter and sees the link and it plays for a second. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And web crawlers, SEO bots, and things like that. I did a whole video on this audience. It's called it's on YouTube actually. It's called The Internet is Dead. It's on my Max Sand channel. Check it out. Because the internet is full of fake views and full of fucking bots. And Who watches the watchers? You believe YouTube when it tells you have X amount of views? Why? Is there any third-party independent organization looking at these views and making sure that they're accurate like there are for television and radio with the Nielsen rating system? No. It's just, hey, YouTube says I got 1 million views. Hey, Rumble says I get 1 million views. You just have to take their word for it. Does seem to be, though, 10 to 15% exaggeration on every platform except TikTok.
Yeah.
Like 150,000%. But Rumble's about 10. YouTube's about 10. I think Twitch is about 10. By my, obviously, not access to the back end, and I'm a complete layman in terms of this stuff. Well, I have some technical knowledge, but I don't have their back end, so it doesn't matter, right? I'm looking at trends. And I'm very skeptical of view numbers as well, as you might be able to tell.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even Spotify has, like they're pretty accurate for they're more accurate from what I've heard for like music listens. Yeah. But for podcasts, they've definitely had a few, statistic.
There's a reason that they're more accurate for music, and it's as simple as they owe somebody money per play, right? So it's a little different. Rather than like with YouTube, ad revenue is a different kettle of fish entirely. This is, if X person's music gets played, we owe them royalties for every single one. So they don't want to exaggerate it at all. I actually know a bunch of artists who will tell you that it's really hard to get Spotify to be favorable to you unless you're already a well-known artist.
Oh yeah, I have friends who are independent artists who say the same thing. In fact, like, they've told me, they're like, damn, your podcast gets more, listens on Spotify than my music does, which I'm hoping to kind of change that for some friends who might be coming on later in the year sometime once they're done touring. But anyway, speaking of touring and promoting products and whatnot, well, ladies and gentlemen, we revealed the cover of The Fourth Estate probably about a month ago now.
Getting a bit of hype over there on Twitter too. I saw that.
Yeah.
Well.
So I launched the pre-order for The Fourth Estate, Kindle edition. There are a few things I want to clarify with that. So the Kindle edition of The Fourth Estate is available for pre-order. It comes out on March 12th. I plan on putting out the paperback version the same day if possible. The thing that I've learned about
you should hold the paperback to the 15th just so you can say beware the Ides of March. Don't listen to me. I'm terrible strategist.
I
just had to make the joke.
That actually might be the case. Because from what I understand, so there are a few things at play here. So for whatever reason, and I've talked to Eric Bishop, Terrence McCauley, and other people about this in private, but for whatever reason, you cannot set up pre-orders for a print book as an independent publisher on Amazon.
I'm sure it's something to do with their internal number bookkeeping bullshit, but it makes no sense, because pre-ordering the book, it's like, just, hey, when it's printed, send it out to me. So they should take that, but I'm sure that there's some kind of industry bullshit. I have to count everything a specific way kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at the Kindle direct publishing subreddit, which most of the time subreddit is full of, crap. But there's a theory that
Johnny Fox and such, yeah.
well, and just r slash like I mean, Reddit is depressing in general.
Yeah.
But
It's r/I wrote a story. See how great it is? And then you read it and it's like, oh my God. Why would you go on? Sorry.
yeah, no, but well, this theory that I read on Reddit actually kind of makes sense, which is the pre-orders, like it has to do with something with like the physical like print on demand service that they provide. Like doing print pre-orders, I guess, would screw with that somehow. I'm not, I don't work for Amazon. I don't know how that works, but long story short, ladies and gentlemen, we will, or I will be getting print copies out hopefully the same week. One of the other things though is
And I'm not gonna lie, Sam. I'm gonna wait for the fucking paperback so that because I went with the ebook last time and I realized that I couldn't hold it up and be like, I got one.
right.
So this time I'm not gonna make that mistake.
Well, hold on though, Max, and hold on, listener, because I do have some news regarding both the ebook and the paperback. So, because the paperbacks are not available for pre-order, I have decided to do something a little different. And I admit I borrowed this idea from Eric Bishop. So credit to him for this idea. But for anyone who pre-orders the ebook edition on Amazon, if you take a screenshot or something proving that you pre-ordered the book and send it to me on Twitter, you can black out. I don't need to see your credit card details or anything like that. Just
leave all that in.
Just prove. Well, yeah, because we need. We need to buy stuff for the show, right?
Yeah. If social security number, all that stuff, just leave that in.
Yeah.
We'll post it on screen. No.
Anyway, though, basically, submit pre-order proof, and what I will do is that will enter you in for a raffle to get a free paperback copy of the book once
Talk
it
about
does.
an upgrade for somebody lucky, huh?
So, in the way I see it, you'll get two formats of the book, because here's the other thing. I know lots of people who were like, oh, I meant to read your book on vacation, but I left your book at home. Can you send me a copy of the ebook? And like, I've done that for one person, but think of it
one
this
too
way.
many, Sam. They start all asking. Now that you said that, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna be like, hey, Sam, send me a copy of the ebook. 50. I'm gonna ask you every day now.
well,
and I am disqualifying myself from this raffle because I'm just gonna buy the paperback because, like I say, I don't want to risk the chance that I don't win, and also I'm a part of the show, so that's not fair.
Right, but it is a good it is a good it is a good.
Also, the ebook's cheaper, so it is a pretty good upgrade. Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, is the ebook is only $5. The paperback version is probably going to be around $11, but which I know might seem steep for a paperback to some of you, but the reason why I'm doing such a big price increase is the print quality of the pages is going to be a lot better. And then also, a few of you have asked for expanded distribution, meaning that the book will be available for purchase on places like Barnes and Noble and Books a Million and other places. And so because of that, I need to raise the price a bit so that I can at least make some money through, I guess, third party
Well, for a quality paperback,
channels.
for a quality paperback, $12 to $15, $10 to $15 probably is about what I expect. So that's not. I mean, yeah, you could use the cheaper paper and you could scrimp and cut off at this, but this is gonna, my opinion, Sam, this book is probably gonna blow up a lot bigger than the first one.
And
Because
also,
we have a lot of great people that have been so supportive.
yeah.
And
also,
a shout out to all them. By the way, also shout out Chibi in chat said hello.
Yes, hello.
But a big shout out to everybody that's been helping out and promoting Sam's book. And I do think that you're probably going to sell a lot more of this one.
Yeah, and also I know some people are freaking out about the $11 price tag, but in reality it's only $1. It's only $1 more than the paperback of Shadows of Deception is.
Right, and it's like you said, a significantly better quality paper and things. So
yeah,
and that's important. If you plan to keep this around for a while and you read, I read it. Look, you ever read a cheap paperback with cheap paper? I'll rip a page. It's awful, right? The higher quality, much better decision in my opinion, for $1.
Yeah. So so that's the exciting news on the book front. I'm really excited to hold it, in my hands. Honestly, to add it to the pile of books on my desk. So, and also, big shout out to Eric Bishop for having me. He didn't have me on his podcast, but he does an Instagram live stream, and he did one. He did one last night, and I've actually never done an Instagram live stream before, so it was my first time. And he and I talked. We had a conversation. He interviewed me a little bit, but it was more of a conversation about basically our shared writing process, and he asked me a few questions about the Fourth Estate, but mostly we just talked about the process of writing and self-publishing, and it was a good interview. And also, he's launching his own podcast, I believe, next week, A Tale of Two Scribes.
Amazing.
Which, for those who don't know, it's not going to be just an author interviewing another author interview. He's going to be interviewing like a couple notable people in the music industry. Like, he actually knows a few of the guys from Shinedown.
Cool.
And so I think he might.
We're going to be interviewing some notable musician too.
Yeah.
And so while we're promoting stuff, I mean, yeah, check out Eric's podcast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This week, check out Minds of Madness podcast. Episode 4 came out last Sunday of the series on Jennifer Sherm's murder. A friend of mine, a musician I've been a fan of for a long time, Andy Sherm, better known as Sick Tannic. And he put out not only that podcast that goes into great detail and discovered a lot of information about his mother's murder, the police abuse involved, yes, the sheriff that raped a young girl and got away with it, and that would be her. And through this, he's basically given his mother her name back, because before she was just essentially a nameless sex worker among so many others. that got slaughtered in the 80s and dumped like trash by these absolute scumbags. Probably the guy that did it probably did it more than just that one time. And they kind of just swept it under the rug because the sheriff had, when she was 12, I believe, had sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
And they covered up for the sheriff, and then they covered up her murder. They didn't really dig too deep, but there was 2 officers that did. They kept copious notes that just went and sat in a file somewhere until the Minds of Madness podcast talked to him, heard about the story. They put in some FOIA requests. They got a private investigator. They did this all out of their own pocket, by the way. And they actually got the reports, hundreds of pages of detailed notes on a case. Usually a case where they find essentially a dead prostitute in the 80s, it would be 1 page.
Right.
But it was hundreds of pages because some of these officers knew what happened with Jennifer. And so the episode series is called Who Killed Jennifer? And the other thing I want to give a shout out to him on, and man, this hit me in the fucking gut the first time I heard it, was his new song, which is just simply entitled Who Killed Jennifer? And man, it's a tough listen because he's just laying all out there his really, really personal struggle with his mother's murder. And
I've not heard it yet because I just started listening to episode 3, even though like I kind of already knew some of the details that went ahead. The other thing too is like I usually don't subscribe to other podcasts like premium memberships wise, but I did subscribe to the Minds of Madness on Patreon because their podcast is really well done, and unlike a lot of these other true crime podcasts that get like a lot of financing from public radio stations, not that they don't deserve credit too, because a lot of them do, but the Minds of Madness, it really is truly listener supported, and so
And with that listener support, they're able to do what they've done for Andy, what they've done for his family. It's beyond measure. Right?
Yeah. So I subscribed for $20 a year, and that helps them out. And you get the episodes ad free. And so we're going to have Andy on the podcast, but I also thought it would be cool to also have some of the guys from the Minds of Madness podcast on as well. So I've talked to Tyler a bit from the Minds of Madness podcast, because everyone knows that true crime podcasts exist, but like, how do you go about producing
think about just this one investigation that took over 2 years and untold sums of money, like tens of thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
And then to say, okay, we'll now make this into 4 hours of content? Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like quite the process, right? A lot of moving parts, and man, and what they've done, like I said, they helped give my friend's mom her name back, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I make a point to say her name was Jennifer Sherm. Okay, she wasn't just some faceless nobody on the side of the road. She was a mother. She was a daughter. She was a person, a human being. And to me, what's important, what the best thing that they did is that they treated her with that respect.
They also, I know that you often reference Andy by his stage name Satanic, and that's cool,
I call him Sick most of the time.
Sick. But I know him like like
No, that's also been tough for him. You have to understand there's a character, right?
yeah,
Of
yeah,
sick
there,
panic. And he's fine. He's always not hidden who he really is. We knew his name, right? But this is the first
well,
really, really open he's been
yeah.
to just being Andy.
Yeah, and point, and like that's the thing is like people know him as Sick. I'm sure I'm one of the only people that like knows him first and foremost as Andy, and like that's not to knock his stage
No, that's just how you saw him
persona.
for right. That's how you were
That
introduced, essentially.
that's all that's all very cool. The other thing though is like neither Max and I are very starstruck by musicians or just public people because we've been around them. So they're normal people to us.
Well,
I guess.
and specifically with him, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I did like a 2-hour interview with him in like the early 2000s on my old radio
Yeah.
show. Like, but either way, I used to play his music long before he had any semblance of success, or before he was touring or anything like that. And so it's not like it wouldn't ever be a starstruck kind of thing. It was more of like an up and coming artist that I've always supported. And it's funny because the artists like him that I supported back then, they're the ones that stuck around that scene. Him,
yeah.
Big shout out to John Thompson, Low Key, another really good friend of mine, actually. The Joker with 2 R's. These guys have stuck around. These are the guys that I was promoting. These are the guys that I was doing interviews with. And like, there's a million people in the underground, you sort of edgy hip hop scene that fell the fuck off. And then there's the few, the really talented ones like Sick, like Loke. And see, the other thing with Low Key is I'll call him Loke, right? Like I'm from that. I was a radio guy in that scene, so I called them all by their hip hop name.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. I'm just saying that, like, for the purpose of this, like, I'm more interested in talking to Andy, the son, rather than Sick, the performer. And I'm sure
I have a feeling we're gonna get all. And also, and the audience may or may not like this. I don't really know. How do you think our audience feels about the UFO question? Hey, chat. There's a good way. Instant feedback, right, Sam? Hey, chat. What do you think about UFOs? You want to talk? You want to talk about UFOs? Because that's another thing that I keep wanting to say. Sick. Andy is into. He's real big into UFO and disclosure Twitter.
Look, I'm into UFOs. Just because, like, we've never talked about it, like, as a thing on the show.
I believe he refers to them as UAPs. I'm not sure what that stands for, but it seems to be like a thing. But they're really about he's more about disclosure. And one of the things I found interesting, I don't usually care about like artists getting off on political tangents that I'm not interested in, but I've always followed his stuff because he's actually really skeptical, even though he's a believer. If that makes sense.
So he's exactly like how Terrence McCauley is with the JFK assassination, where
very much so. Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, where Terrence believes in the JFK conspiracies, but he's also really skeptical of some of.
So if a video comes out, right, the first thing is he's gonna point out why it's probably fake.
Yeah,
he wants real ones. He wants something that cannot be explained, and he doesn't want to, because there's so many fucking hoaxes, right? Even the most staunch UFO guy in the world has to admit that there's a lot of fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah.
There's Bob Lazar going on fucking Joe Rogan talking about a bunch of bullshit that's obviously fucking fake and he's obviously a liar. Right? Maybe
Yeah.
Sick might disagree with me on that. I don't really know. But I do know that there's a lot of people that come and say a lot of fucking shit. And I'm always, the reason I even look at those threads is because he'll be like, okay, but what about this? And what about that? And are we sure about this? And why does that look like a duck and not a UFO? Like, yeah, he might be a believer, but he's not a crazy person. So.
Well, and also, I mean, I don't want to dox Andy, although I don't think it's a dox since this info is out there, but he is from New Mexico.
Oh no, that's not a secret at all. Yeah, don't worry about that.
The land, he is from the land of enchantment, and New Mexico. I mean, yes, Roswell is the famous, but like people all over the state believe in UFOs and like.
I'm pretty sure that's what got him into it to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have a plethora of things that we can talk about. As an artist, as a a son, as a UFO guy, right? There's a lot to talk about. He's an interesting guy. I think audience will like it. Even, and I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, his stage persona is like openly satanic." Yeah, it is. Yes. If you're unwilling to hear from somebody because of something like that, you might be in the wrong place.
I don't,
because we talk to everybody, man.
Yeah, and also he doesn't like really seem to. He doesn't like seem to really like I don't know.
Because he's a Levian Satan.
Yeah,
he's a Levian. There is a distinction in that. It's essentially that he's an edgy atheist. I don't think he'd be offended by me saying that either.
Okay, yeah.
Like I'm not saying anything that he hasn't heard before or could never have been applied to me. Granted,
I haven't interacted with him very much, but like he seems to be like a super nice guy, and not like, and not like a and granted I'm not just saying this applies to Satanists. There are other people that give off creepy vibes.
We've been talking about before that, just to underline things, just to give people a little bit of context. So again, if it doesn't matter to you, if none of this context matters, then skip the interview, I guess. But his mother was brutally murdered when he was 1 year old.
Yeah.
And then he was ruthlessly bullied because his mother was murdered.
Yeah. Also, for two times,
he might have a bit of fucking. Also, his mother was abused by the police. Also, they didn't seem to give a fuck about the case. He's got a lot of reasons to be angry at the greater society and God, maybe even. And if you can't put yourself in his shoes, then, like I say, maybe that interview is not for you. But I think if you can, it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, and what I would say too is,
and kind of hard because like that's a tough topic. It's his mom.
Yeah, and what I would say too is, even the most devout man of faith has moments of doubt in God at times. And if you can't empathize with that, then, who are you? Basically.
Yeah. So actually, Sam, we can do something really cool right now if you want.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Would you pull up Who Killed Jennifer, the song by Satanic, and play that?
Yeah,
we have full permission to do that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes, sir. As long as we promote, if you like the song, go check out Satanic on Spotify, YouTube, especially. If you check it out on YouTube, leave a comment, thumbs up. But on Spotify is the best. The song is entitled "Who Killed Jennifer?" The artist, Siktanic, Siktanick, and it's about his mother's murder and about his coming to terms with it. And he said we could play it.
Let me go ahead, and I've got it queued up here on.
It's not often we're allowed to just play music, right?
No, I'm sure once I upload this podcast to Spotify might have a few questions, but yeah, we'll take care of that.
And those are handled by express written permission.
Yeah. Well, and
that happens when you're nice to people.
Yep.
You get express written permission to help promote a song that's very personal and I think very good.
Well, not just that. When you're nice to people, you also have award-winning authors retweeting your books too. Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate that. But anyway, here is Who Killed Jennifer by Mr. Andy Sherm, aka Siktanic. Okay. And hopefully this will come through.
Coming through on my end. I'm gonna mute out.
Same here.
The penitent man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Tell me, is it nature or a monster when man kill? Spend my life trying to honor and defend her, but I'm not any closer. Tell me who killed Jennifer. The penitent man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Is it just a monster or an evil when man kill? Spend my life in a circle with no center. All I want is closure. So tell me who killed Jennifer. I was born to a mother that was murdered. I guess for some reason God didn't think that I deserved her. Let's start early though. She was 12 years old when she was groomed by a sheriff. His name was Turco. She was chained on the stand. Can you imagine a rape victim in 2024 with cuffs on her hand? Age of consent back then, it was 13. And so my mother was raped by a pig that was dirty. He was never prosecuted because the Polaroids they found of my mom, they were drugs, they were useless. He got 3 months for some marijuana, thanks to a lawyer that didn't have a moral compass or any honor. This one's for you, I'm sure your conscience needs a remedy. Let me find where you live, you'll be the next John Kennedy. I won't fail like my Aunt Jessie did. No mercy in my heart, I would've shot you in front of your kids. The penitent man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Tell me, is it nature or a monster when man kill? Spend my life trying to honor and defend her, but I'm not any closer. Tell me who killed Jennifer. The penitent man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Is it just a monster or an evil when man kill? Spend my life in a circle with no center. All I want is closure. So tell me who killed Jennifer. Verse 2, the shit gets even deeper. Mom died at 22. I was 2. I never got to meet her. Her head was broken from the trauma she endured. A childhood full of pain she didn't deserve. The shit was absurd. Her innocence was never preserved. So she turned to drugs and sat back in the dirt as the world around us spun. She was left to these devices. I wondered if she knew that they would leave her lifeless. Getting down with Walter White in the desert, turning tricks on the side. From the pimps came the pressure. You gotta pay your dues, but Janie was paid and pained and raped and every single kind of abuse. Around this time, everything goes blurry. If I'm collected victim of a man that's named Alex Murray. It's a spirit I'm preserving, perverted kept me yearning forever. I'm hurt. The primitive man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Tell me, is it nature or a monster when man kill? Spend my life trying to honor and defend her, but I'm not any closer. Tell me who killed Jennifer. The penitent man heals, the thief and the man steals. Is he just a monster or an evil when man kill? Spend my life in a circle with no center. All I want is closure. So tell me who killed Jennifer. Verse 3, it's like I'm laying on a lake line. The dead have said the peace. Now it's time for me to say mine. Mom, I'm sorry, you never had a fighting chance. I heard you had suppressive fury, that's where I got my hands. My nights are dark and full of terrors. I question if you love me or if I was a mistake, a remnant of your errors. And Mom, I'm sorry, I ended up a junkie. The cycle it repeats, it's cynical, maybe even funny. I didn't turn out so well. For what it's worth, I hope to meet you someday, even if it's in the deepest hell. But in the meantime, I'm trying to give you just a shout out to Minds of Madness for bringing this to the public. I will avenge you one day with the name on the kite in the penitentiary that only ends one way. And maybe that's not what you wanted, but Mom, I need something to help me out because I'm feeling haunted. The penitent man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Tell me, is it nature or a monster when man kill? Spend my life trying to honor and defend her, but I'm not any closer. Tell me who killed Jennifer. The penitent man kneels, the thief and the man steals. Is he just a monster or an evil when man kill? Spend my life in a circle with no center. All I want is closure. So tell me who killed Jennifer.
This is for Jennifer Lynn Sherm. Say her motherfucking name.
Yeah, and we will say her name. Jennifer Lynn Sherm deserves better than she was treated. And I just want to point out, like, she was raped by a sheriff. Literally done as dirty by the at 12 or 13 years old. About as dirty as you can be, and that's long before the murder, mind you. That's probably why it happened. Because she went down the route.
That was the first
everything because of that.
That was the first time I've heard any of Six music, and
I just really quick before you react at all, I want to say one thing, that the reason he said we can play it, the reason he wants everybody to hear that song is because, one, she deserves her name back. She deserves to be known. And two, and this is the most important part, you'll hear it on the Minds of Madness podcast. You're going to hear it here too. If you have information that could lead to a break in the case, please, I know it's unlikely that anybody here has, but every ear that hears that song or that podcast, every eyeball that sees any of this is another chance at information that could bring closure to people who desperately deserve it and need it. Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. You know, I'll see if anyone out west that I know might have any info.
Well, who knows? Like, not everybody chats with us who listens to the show, right? We don't know. And on the off chance that you know anything about this case, please contact Satanic on Twitter himself, contact the Minds of Madness podcast, contact the local authorities there, although they have not been particularly helpful to the fucking case. There's a lot of places you can contact. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but if you have information, please, people would be indebted to you forever. So that's just my little plea there.
My first reaction to that is just from the standpoint of a songwriting perspective. It's pretty to be able to sum up a 4-hour podcast in roughly 5 minutes
Or a
and
40-year life, because it's not
Well,
just
yeah.
about his mom. You notice
well,
the
yeah,
song's
40.
about everything. Like that has to be the most like I've been listening to this guy for 20 years. That's got to be the most personal song.
Well, it's funny that you say that, Max, because I'm looking at Spotify right now. I'll actually share my screen again because I want the people watching this to see what I see.
Just real quick, Silly Kelly in the chat says, so is his father the sheriff? There's a 10-year gap between what happened to Jennifer at the hands of the sheriff and her murders, so no.
Yeah. No, that was something I was wondering at first, but no, it doesn't. No.
Yeah, that's he didn't really mention that on the podcast. I don't think. I think his dad
Fair-
kind of has nothing to do with the bad stuff necessarily.
Fair question though. So I am still screen sharing. Okay, so I do want to point out here that on Satanic's page, he says my most important song ever, and Who Killed Jennifer, which we just played, is on there, and that's pretty significant.
Also notice, and this was jarring to me after having listened to the podcast. Now, if you haven't listened to the podcast, it might kind of go by you. He named fucking names more explicitly than the podcast did, by the way. They kind of tried to be a little easier on it, but he named names. And in particular the sheriff, the scumbag sheriff. So yeah, look, I get it. He's edgy, maybe his beliefs aren't yours, but if you can't understand why a man that's been through this is angry at the government, the cops, God, society in general, and kind of develops a darker persona, well, then you don't understand me at all either,
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Well,
I mean, this man's music has kept me going for years, right? In my darkest times. And the least I can do is get his mom's name out there and plead that please, if you have any information, please get it to somebody who can help.
That's kind of my point though too, is like for all the dark shit that has happened to him, he seems like mostly a positive guy. I mean, he's taken his pain and turned it into music. Yeah, it might be edgy, but that's better than he could have become a criminal.
But it's real, it's authentic, and that's why I like it.
Yeah.
It's him, he's never pulled punches and he's always been genuine. You might not like what he's saying, but it's him. You can tell. You listen to a lot of, and this is why I like this kind of niche underground stuff. You listen to what's on the radio a lot of times, especially in the pop music genre, and it's not authentic, right? It's not, I would say, even art in a lot of cases. It's commercial slop, right? But artists like him, my God, that song alone, the man laid more of his soul in that one song than 150 fucking pop hits.
Yeah, we'll see when he's trying to be edgy, it comes off more as like him being authentic as opposed to being edgy. I'm less offended by him making satanic references in his music than I would be by Madonna, who's just doing it for pure shock factor.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he's literally talking about philosophy in the songs.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just, oh God, edgy devil, are you scared? Right?
He's not doing the whole Sam Smith.
I would argue this too, especially knowing now. Again, I learned about his mother's story this year too. I didn't know this about him, right? We don't sit there and talk. You know what I mean? I'm not his best buddy in the fucking world. I'm a fucking guy on the internet. But when I heard that, it makes a lot of sense because a lot of his music, he's adopting the satanic imagery specifically as a power thing. And that makes perfect sense because a lot of the power was taken away from him in his life before he ever had a chance to know what it was.
Right.
He's asserting his power, but I think the most powerful thing he's ever done is the Who Killed Jennifer song. In terms of taking the power back, not only for himself, but for his mother.
I would say that I would say that it's actually a beautiful song too.
It's a hard listen after the podcast. And by the way, they do play it at the end of the last podcast. They don't mention that he's a musician very much throughout all of it. And I kind of thought they weren't going to. But big shout out to them because they really treated him with respect on that level as an artist. Whereas a lot of people might just turn their nose up at it.
That's it. Look, like I said, they really handled everything really well. And that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I don't support too many creators on Patreon these days. Although people have asked, and I will be relaunching my Patreon here at some point, but that's another story. But these guys that I was happy to support them through Patreon, and the way they do their podcast, I actually want to go back and listen to like other series now that they've done too, and I will now that I have the subscription because they're good storytellers, and as someone who is a storyteller myself, I just I really find it compelling.
Well,
when someone does a good job.
We've had some of these essentially like thriller and crime novelists on. I hope that one of them or more can take the time and hear about Jennifer's case, because I just want to help him get this story out.
I actually did share a little bit about Andy and the Minds of Madness podcast last night when I was on Eric's live stream. We were just talking because he's as I mentioned, he's doing a podcast, A Tale of Two Scribes. And so we were talking about guests, so it was kind of appropriate for me to pitch the Minds of Madness. The other thing though is like he knows some authors who write more like police and crime fiction too. I'm not going to name names, but there are names that you all have heard. And a lot of those crime novelists, what people don't know is a lot of the crime novelists, they either start out as court reporters or police detectives. So if one of those guys, maybe like a Michael Connolly or someone like that, were to pick up on this story, then maybe
and it so lends itself to a story to be told too, because it's not just a one point in time. Usually with a case like this, it's a one point in time a person was murdered, but this is a multi-decade story involving police corruption and just every thing that they could they have kicked this kid more when he's 1 year old than they did. Is it possible? Right.
It's also not just Jennifer though too. Like
right.
Listening to the pot, like there were multiple victims too.
and not just one killer at the time frame. There was multiple serial killers operating in the southwest of this country and other places in the 80s, basically with impunity, killing prostitutes. Right?
Yeah.
And how many of them don't have their name? How many of them have kids that grew up like he did? You know,
well,
it's awful.
Well, I hate to say this, but like one of the reasons why Vince Gilligan set New Mexico, set the location of Breaking Bad in New Mexico, part of it was budget, but the other reason why was because New Mexico, unfortunately, does have a high instance of drug cartels and other criminal activity.
And I say serial killers, but a lot of them are tied directly to that. You wouldn't consider them a serial killer normally as the way people think of a serial killer. But right. I'm sorry, if a cartel guy kills 5 women, he's still a serial killer.
Yeah, no,
right.
Absolutely. So, like that's one thing that I've gotten because I've shared this podcast around and people are like, oh, you mean to tell me that part of Breaking Bad is real? And it's like, yeah.
Silly Kelly says, I'm surprised Satanic became an artist and not a criminal avenging his mother with violence. You got to understand, man, he didn't know. Just like I didn't know. He knew his mom was murdered, but he only learned that when he was like a teenager.
Yeah.
He didn't know any of this, or he knew some little details here and there, but like, yeah, he was just angry at the world and he channeled it into music. And I don't even think it's a stretch to say in some way saved my life, right? His music kept me going through some of my darkest times. The least I can do is try and help him out.
Yeah, well, I mean that would be interesting to discuss too. Maybe on the podcast. I don't know if you've ever shared that with him, but
yeah, basically, but not in great detail. But yeah, like he's among the artists that definitely kept me going through my darkest times for sure.
Yeah, here I am over here trying to play Dr. Phil, saying, Max, why don't you talk out your feelings with your musical heroes? So
yeah,
but no, we'll be happy.
We'll see what we talk about, but just wanted to get that out there. The plea I think is really important, and if you can share the podcast, Minds of Madness podcast, Who Killed Jennifer, please. Every ear that hears it is another chance at answers.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I honestly I think that is way more interesting, news right there about.
I was gonna say it's been so heavy. Now, can we just shit on Mitch McConnell and have some laughs?
Yeah. So, the turtle, as my friend,
good old cocaine Mitch.
Yep. The turtle, as I've called him, because for years now, because he looks like one, has finally retired.
No. He's not retiring though. He's only stepping down as majority leader in the Senate. He's not stepping off his Senate seat, as far as I know. Basically what he's doing is throwing a tantrum because Trump is going to win.
Oh, well, that's not as fun.
Yeah. Oh, you guys want Trump, huh? Well, then you don't get me. And everybody's like, yay, good. Go fuck yourself, Mitch.
Okay, so that's a little disappointing, Max. You had me excited here. I was thinking that like he was gonna retire for good, but
no. He's just like, I won't be in charge anymore. hey, Orange Man is bad and he's winning, and he was literally, I think this motherfucker was holding out for a Nikki Haley like miracle, like some kind of retard.
He
He is a
was
retard.
he was basically well, he's also, I mean, in my mind, he's also kind of evil because he's the one who keeps like he's the one who keeps saying, oh well, we need to send more money to Ukraine so that we can
Oh
fight.
yeah, he loves him some war, don't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
boy.
yeah, that is one thing that kind of pisses me off about Mitch. Like, and I know politicians do this, but he's one of these people that says, Biden and the Democrats need to balance the budget, but let's send, $1 trillion more over to Ukraine.
Oh yeah, now we
And-
got to send to Israel too.
Yeah.
By the way, if you need insurance, if you need a new wheelchair, go fuck yourself. That money's going to Ukraine.
Well,
That's Mitch's
yeah,
stance.
yeah,
Mitch's
well,
stance is like, Sam needs a new wheelchair. People in Ukraine need to die. That's what needs to happen. That's what that money needs to be for.
yeah, well, and
Fuck warmongers, man.
and innocent Russians too. So, but yeah, just a quick article from the Washington Examiner here, though. All eyes on possible McConnell successors after announcement he will step down.
I've seen a lot of calls for Rand Paul. I don't think that's going to happen. But what I will say is this. I think the best choice might end up being Ted Cruz. That's me. Because he's kind of in between. He's not a neocon, at least now. He kind of used to be. And I've said I don't necessarily trust people that used to be neocons, but he's been pretty consistent for a while. And he's not as far on the libertarian end of the spectrum as Rand.
Right. Rick Scott, according to this article, my former governor, who backed Trump from the beginning, by the way, is also supposedly throwing his hat into the race. Now I think he would make an okay speaker. I think he would actually make a good speaker, but I do kind of agree with you, Max. I think Ted Cruz would be better maybe at like some of the
is, and this is I'm gonna give Mitch McConnell one and only compliment. You better be good at whipping up votes to fill his shoes, because he was really, really good at getting people to fall in line when a vote comes.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Even if he make him vote for shit that I disagree with, you got to give the man his due that he'd get him to come out and do the vote. He'd make the compromises. That's what he was good at.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say at Rick Scott too. Like, Rick Scott was good at governing, but Rick Scott was never good at like motivating the party. Really. So.
And another thing why I say Ted Cruz is because he does have a good working relationship with Trump. So if Trump is de facto leader of the party, I think that's a good start, having Ted Cruz as the majority leader, and then Trump and him have that working relationship. So when Trump wins inevitably, which is why Mitch is quitting. He's quitting because he sees the writing on the wall. He cannot be majority leader under Trump again, because Trump has just lambasted him for the last fucking 4 years.
Well, good. Listen, if Cruz or Scott,
maybe longer, I might be under. I think he was talking shit about Mitch McConnell in like 2017.
Yeah. Well, look, if we can actually get Republicans with spines in Congress and actually, I don't know, get Trump care like Trump wanted, then that would be good. I do have to share something with you, Max. I didn't get a chance to share this with you before the show, but I showed my mom your tweet of that you made earlier today about how you identify as a cyborg.
I'm transhuman, right? And so that the government needs to provide me with my cybernetic implants, right?
Yeah.
In line with my identity. My pronouns are beep, boop. And if you don't make me a cyborg, you're a bigot.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm ever going to get gorilla arms, Sam.
Yeah, well, at this point, that's the only way I'm going to get my wheelchair is if I... Oh, I've got it. What if I say I'm transabled? Because that seems
no. What you have to say is that your wheelchair is part of your sexual identity.
Yeah.
We got to learn to speak their language, Sam.
I know that sounds weird, but yeah. I'm chair sexual, I guess. That's gonna get clipped.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna clip it myself. Put it on the soundboard. It's just Sam. I'm chair sexual.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna have to be in order if I want, I mean, fucking hell, they won't pay for like a $3,100 wheelchair, but God forbid I want to transition. That's $50,000 right there that they'll gladly fork over.
Yeah. The sad thing is that they're not going to hand you the money, right? So you're just going to get, if you try that, what you actually get is your dick cut off.
Right.
Probably not ideal.
No.
It's a great plan, except for that part, right?
No, I mean, and listen, I've already had enough shit done to me in this life. I don't need, I don't need some doctor trying to, take what little I have left. So.
No, he'll make you one of those neo vaginas. It'll be great.
Oh God.
Dilation, Sam.
Now I am cringing, and I don't have any coffee.
Yeah, it gets rough, doesn't it? People are like, why is it cringing over coffee? Because sometimes, man, when you see some crazy, stupid internet shit, it helps to have a brew. It could have been cringing over beer, but that doesn't have that like onomatopoeia to it. I wanted to do a morning show.
I also don't think beer would be strong enough to witness
cringing over whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah. The image of
we'll be doing cringing over Everclear.
Yeah, well, then my neighbors would fit in right along. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So Cocaine Mitch sees the writing on the wall, takes his ball, goes home, thinks everybody's gonna be like, "No, Mitch, please don't." Everybody's like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here."
I love that. I love how because see, like, I would like to think that in his mind, like, he actually thinks that like people are gonna want him back, right? Like,
he definitely thought people were gonna beg him. You can tell by the statement. Yeah, they'll know. Oh, they already know Orange Man is bad. I mean, I pretend like I say he's not, and I pretend like I support him, but then I immediately vote to fucking impeach him. Yeah, by the way, anybody that voted to impeach, I remember
Yeah. No, we there's a list of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting voted out.
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty sure he will too. See, that's why he's not. He's going to finish out his term, but he just can't be speaker, or I'm sorry, majority leader anymore
well,
because
I
Orange Man is
mean,
bad and he's going to win, and I don't want to have to deal with that.
look, I love that. I love that Mike Pence considered running after what he
Oh,
did.
Silly Kelly has a solution to our problem here that says you could 3D print a vagina with Sam's stem cells. There we go. Did you
I
ever
mean,
think that you would be considering that kind of stem cell therapy, Sam?
I mean, I can no.
No. Why would we use Sam's stem cells when there's perfectly good aborted fetuses we could use? There's no shortage of them, not in blue states.
Yeah. Well, the yeah. No, that's one of my favorite arguments too, is that
We're gonna grow
is that
Sam
I
a
should be
vagina
pro.
out of dead babies. That's basically what the joke is.
No, I
Have
love
we
the
ever,
I love the
I just
argument.
want to stop for a sec. Have we ever made a darker joke than that? I'm not sure. I don't
No.
think so.
No, I don't think we have.
Woo! New low.
Um
We've reached a new low. I wanna thank everybody in the chat for that one.
we made a pretty dark joke last week though, and I can't remember what it is.
I make a lot of dark
or
jokes, I gotta admit, but that was pretty.
Or-
That's pretty
or-
rough.
I made one last week. I can't remember. I can't
Yeah,
remember
people
what it
expect
was.
me to make dark. It's when you make a dark joke that's when you get shocked. If I make a dark joke, everybody's like, Max is fucking evil. Max is an asshole. Sam says it, and people are like, oh my god.
I made one that I made one. I think I made one about UFOs or something that even made you cringe or something.
Probably. Nothing but the top level of comedy here on the Whitfield Report.
I do remember back when Apex was co-hosting the show, we had like a roundtable panel, and one of our contributors to the show, John Arcade, he and Alan Powell came up with a theory that aliens came down and fucked gorillas, and that's how evolution started, basically.
Yeah. The diaspora theory, yeah. The monkey fuckers. Yep.
So that's not new. That's been
No,
that's
that's it. Oh, there's tons of books written about that one. The Anunnaki, from planet Nibiru. I like weird internet rabbit holes. It's crazy because I don't believe the shit most of the time, right? But I just love reading crazy conspiracy theories that make no sense. It's a passion.
Have you ever read a conspiracy theory that was so bizarre that it might be true?
Ooh. How about this? I'll one up you. One that I believe to be true, even though everybody will be like, "What are you talking about, Max?" You want one of those?
Yeah.
There were 3 shooters at Columbine. Period.
See, I believe that actually.
Yeah. What was his name? Stair? Joseph Stair, I believe, was the 3rd shooter. Yeah.
So
he's identified by over 70 witnesses by name who all went to school with him and knew him. And They also knew Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, and they were like, yeah, no, it was Joe Stair. He was there in the hallway. He was shooting the Uzi. The other interesting thing is somebody was shooting a shotgun, somebody was shooting another shotgun, and somebody else was shooting an Uzi. I guess it's only two guys.
So who was the third? See, everyone thinks that there was.
I just told you, Joseph Stair.
Yeah. Yeah.
He killed
No,
himself
see-
in 2007. So,
Oh, that's not suspect at all.
there's another guy that people suggest was the third shooter. I believe his name is Chris Morris. I don't think it was him, because there's a theory that there was upwards of 5. But if you go by witness testimony, there was 3.
See, 3, I believe. 5 seems like a little like what? But yeah.
Either way, the whole Columbine thing stinks. If you look into it, they fucking covered shit up. They supposedly destroyed the basement tapes. They said, "Oh well, these guys, they were so persuasive. We can't just ever let." That was the first case I'm aware of essentially the manifesto of the killer being completely buried and hidden from public view forever. We're allowed a synopsis of what people saw in the tapes, and that's it. They have never been released, and the Colorado authorities claim that they destroyed them in 2011. So why can't we hear their reasoning for ourselves?
Yeah.
Does anybody believe that if we can hear the reasoning for ourselves, it's just going to turn people into shooters? No.
Well, people do think people think that if you play violent video games, you're gonna
well, that's because of Columbine, right? Columbine kind of started that.
Yeah. My favorite theory, Max.
I played Eric Harris's Doom Wads. They're not bad. They're not great.
My favorite theory, Max, and you're gonna laugh at this because it's so ridiculous. My favorite internet theory that I've read is that GTA 3 was responsible for Columbine. Now, why is that
GTA
funny?
3 came out in 2002.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's hilarious. That's why it's hilarious to me that like
they cracked that one wide open, didn't they? Fucking goddamn internet sleuths over here figured it all out.
No, well, no,
See,
that was an article that, and
Eric Harris was a time traveler. He went to the future. He played Grand Theft Auto, traveled back to 1999, and then planned the shooting.
Now, see, CBS News should have run with that story, but they didn't, and they got egg on their face. So,
and then here's the Columbine conspiracy theory that is 100% bullshit. They weren't gay. They weren't gay. They were raped, but they weren't gay.
Well, yeah, that one's interesting because the whole theory is that they did the shooting because they were being bullied because they were gay.
Well, they were being okay. I always say I have the context for use of this. They were called faggots all the time. In the 90s, that was pretty common, right? They were outcasts. They were two friends. They always hung out together. Everybody's like, oh, you're gay. Sure, that's normal. What's not normal, okay, is that said same jocks cornered them in the shower and raped them because they're faggots. I don't know
which is
the logic there,
yeah.
because it kind of makes all of them gay, not Eric and Dylan, who were sexually assaulted. That doesn't make you gay. But,
Yeah,
hey, whatever.
yeah, that's not sus at all.
And also, the biggest conspiracy about Columbine is that bullying is bad. That's not true. Like, objectively, it's not true that bullying itself in all cases at all times is bad. Look, they got bullied. Yes. They also acted like fucking weirdos. They also had clear problems. And they also ended up murdering a bunch of people. So maybe the bullying was like maybe misplaced slightly. Maybe it wasn't targeted. Maybe it was a bit too over the mark, a bit over the top. But you can't convince me that these kids didn't need to get bullied. They needed to get bullied.
Well, people, yeah. Well, and from what I've heard, it's not like it's like mom.
Maybe not raped, right? But hey, weirdo, what the fuck are you doing? Saying these crazy things, scaring all the girls in class. Freak.
Well,
right? But that's like a normal bullying thing, right? What's not a normal bullying thing for men in high school to bully another. Look, I stuff people in lockers, okay? I've given people swirlies. I've done the things, okay? We took a kid and we hung him from the fucking coat rack by his underwear, right? All that, okay? Never once did it seem like a good way to bully somebody to rape them. That never occurred to me that it would be an effective way to like, we're really going to show those freaks.
Now, here's a question I have for you, Max. Like, who did you bully and why? Because the question.
Jim Kirby. Oh my God. I don't remember all their full names. Mousy. I broke Mousy's hand though, but that wasn't bullying. He actually took a swing at a woman and I caught his fist. And then I kind of squeezed and he was a little guy. He's a wee guy and I'm a big guy. So I squeezed his fist a little bit and I cracked a couple bones. But also I used to take his hearing aids and throw them out into the courtyard. Kirby, the guy I mentioned before, that was the fun one because he was like super duper fat, right? He's like ridiculously fat. And he was one of those spurgs that was like so desperate for $1 that he would eat anything in the cafeteria. So we would make a plate. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, all right, you got leftover whatever that is. Let's dump it in. Dump in some chocolate milk and some fucking just everything. A big bucket of fucking cafeteria slop leftovers and be like, yeah, we'll give you $1 to take a bite. And he'd take 10 bites and get $10. And then the other thing, my favorite thing with that guy, Kirby, we called him Furby because he was round, like, and
yeah.
Like, Furby. Anyway, every day after lunch, when we were waiting for the bell to ring out in like the foyer, there was a door to the courtyard, but the courtyard was locked from the courtyard. You couldn't go in the courtyard and then come back in without somebody letting you in. So every single day for about 2 years, and I don't know why he never fucking figured this out, I would take his fucking backpack and then throw it into the courtyard, and he would run into the courtyard like an idiot, and then we'd close the door and leave. And he'd have to have a teacher let him in, and he would get in trouble all the time, too. And he was like, "You did it to me," and nobody believed him. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. He deserved it. Being fat like that.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you broke a kid's hand, but he was like beating. He was trying to beat on a woman. So that's
right.
That's justifiable.
And then the thing about throwing his hearing aids, I did the same thing with his hearing aids. I did with the. It was after he fucking tried to hit a woman. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though. It's like there's a perception that like most kids who get bullied are just like harmless victims, right? And sometimes that might be the case, but like I was a bully to the boys. I'll admit that.
Oh,
And
Black Pill Phil in the chat said, "What's up, homies? What's up, Phil?"
Hey, Black Hill Phil, been a long time. Glad to see you over here on Rumble. So because
Well, I got another case of somebody I bullied that absolutely deserved it. This is a fun one. So that wasn't fun at the time. This one kid at school, his name was Lewis. I don't remember what his fucking full name. His mom was one of the office secretaries, right? So she was an administrator for the school. Now, he and I had a beef about something. I don't even remember what the initial, kids in high school. His response to whatever it was I did to piss him off was he threw a rotten egg on Halloween. Me and my ex-girlfriend, at the time, were walking around doing trick-or-treating like teenagers and causing, mischief. It's Halloween. And he threw a rotten egg directly and broke her nose.
ooh.
Yeah, so
Yes.
he threw it from like a good distance away, way high up in the air, and it just fell down and hit her in the nose, and it broke her nose. And I couldn't catch the little prick that night, but we had a class called robotics, and what that was basically we played with Legos. You know the Legos you can like program and shit?
Yeah, those.
And it was in the shop, like the wood shop, metal shop, and the shop teacher was the teacher, but it was off in a little room. And see, he didn't bother to teach the class by that point. He came in the first couple days, and then it was basically we played with Legos for one period. That's basically what it was. I knew he was in that class with me, and I knew there would be no teachers and maybe 5 other students, and all of them were my friends except for him. So I walked in the next morning. It was like second period. A big old smile on my face. He didn't expect that because he, assaulted my girlfriend the night before and broke her nose. So I just walked up and punched him in the face and then walked out of the room. And I was on my way to the office actually. But the shop teacher came and called me back. He's like, "Hey, Max, why are you leaving?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Yeah, all my friends told him that the guy told on me, and all my friends were like, "He's lying. He's lying." And of course, the teacher believed me because that guy's a lying sack of shit anyway. However, he had his revenge. You see, he went to his mom, the school administrator secretary, and told her that I spit and hawked a loogie in his eye. I did not do that. I took a 10-day out of school suspension and was threatened with an assault charge for that. No, that didn't sit right with me, and I had, like 2 weeks at home to really think about what I did and what I didn't do.
Well, yeah.
And so the first day back from suspension, before, school started, before anything, the first thing I did is I went up to his locker and I waited, and then he showed up, and I hawked the biggest loogie I could possibly have conjured right in his fucking eye. And then I went to the principal's office. Nobody told me to. I just walked down to the principal's office and said, "Okay, I'm good for another 10 days. What do you mean? Yeah, this time I actually did what you all accused me of. So let's go. 10 days out, I could do that sitting on my head."
Based?
And then he tried to fight me, like actually legitimately fight me, and I just beat him up.
Now, see, folks, for those listening audio, like Max is a giant. So like,
Yeah, and even in high school, I was a giant. Actually, I was more of a giant in high school.
Well,
Just 'cause I was like comparatively to other people in my peer group, right?
yeah.
But he's the one I gave a swirly to. I think that was much later. And I stuffed him in a locker. Yeah. Mousy was the guy we hung up by his underwear. And Kirby was the guy that we ran his underwear up the flagpole. Because he had like comedy boxer shorts, and he was so fat that they were huge. And so we found his underwear. With like it was just sitting on like a bench in the locker room while he was doing gym class. So we just fucking snatched his underwear because it was comedy underwear, Sam. It was white with hearts on it. I don't even know where you would get underwear like that. And it was like a flag. So we ran it up the flagpole.
Yeah.
That was another 10 days suspension for me, but worth it.
Yeah, I like to point out that like this podcast would have gotten banned like, well, let's be honest, on YouTube it would have gotten like flagged as soon as we played 6 music, probably. But like this is gonna be controversial, what I'm about to say, but like everyone you just mentioned, like I can't think of a single innocent person that you've bullied.
Me either. I'm trying to. I guess there was my friend that was a dwarf, but like it wasn't bullying. He wanted us to put him in the locker because it was a funny bit and we recorded it. The funny part is we told him that we would edit it to make it look like he was in there all day, but actually we just left him in there all day with the cameras sitting out of it, and you could hear him talking. This is one of the funniest bits of video ever fucking made. But he was afraid. It wasn't bullying. That's more like hazing. Is hazing bad too now? Have we become such fucking pussies that hazing and bullying are bad?
Yes. The answer to both is yes.
I refuse to accept that. Gentlemen, we need more hazing. We need more bullying. But apply it right. See, this is what I mean. The problem with bullying is that like assholes like the jocks at Columbine are like, it'd be funny to rape them. No, that's not bullying. That just means you're sick. That's just no. Bullying is stuffing the kid in a locker. Bullying is taking that fat fuck's underwear and running up the flagpole. You know what would have prevented that from happening? Not having super funny underwear, not being like 500 pounds in fucking 11th grade, right? Those two things, if he had done either one of those things, he wouldn't have had his underwear up the flagpole. And the best part is that it took them like 3 days to notice we did that. So his underwear was underneath the American flag outside the school for like a better part of a week before they noticed and took him down.
So did you like? So it's not as bad as I thought. I thought you like hoisted him up the flag.
No. The flagpole. Look, this guy was super fat. We weren't gonna break the flagpole. Just his underwear flapping in the breeze, and it had his name. That's the best part. It had his name in the waistband.
Oh my god! I'm sorry, but like that's setting that if you do something to set yourself up for being bullied like that, you deserve it.
Yeah, that's what I say. If you make I said this to Johnny Fox a couple weeks ago. You make yourself an easy target. Why wouldn't people?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why
Or like the thing about me throwing the guy's bag in the courtyard every day for like 2 years. At what point does he stop leaving his bag unattended? Right? You imagine that, Sam. You're getting locked out of the school every day for the same exact reason. And you're getting in trouble with teachers. You're late for classes. One day, nobody even noticed he was out there all day. Until the end of school, like a janitor walked by and was like, what the fuck? But yet, he would leave his bag unattended every fucking day knowing I'm going to do that. It's like Lucy in the fucking football. Yeah, Charlie Brown, this time Max won't take it. Of course I will.
Yeah.
Every fucking time until you get your shit together. Hey, I got bullied too, so it's fine. I think it's all like yin and yang.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah,
I mean, and the bullying I got was a lot less lighthearted because they just called me a school shooter.
Yeah.
And wrote psycho on my locker and spit on me in the hallways. You know?
Yeah,
That was fun.
you were like a merry prankster compared to a lot of these other.
Did I tell you about the teacher that I bullied? That's a good one.
Sure. Let's compare stories. I made a teacher cry once. I
made this teacher cry a lot of times.
Okay. Okay. Let's hear yours.
No, yours is probably shorter if it's the one time. I'd like to hear it. How does Sam make a teacher cry?
Because I basically there was this
because this is gonna show the distinction of nice Sam and Max the evil bastard. So we should get yours out of the way first.
I basically there was this teacher who was like really excited that Obama was the first black president, and she went on this whole monologue about it, and I just raised my hand and I said, the fact that you're getting excited over the fact that he's the first black president just simply shows how racist you are and how low expectations you are, because what if he ends up being bad? And so her whole thing was, so you don't care that he's the first black president? No, not really. But what are all your friends who are black? What do they have? What do they have to do with anything? So you don't like Obama? Nope, not really. Now keep in mind, this was a woman who did this, but even so, I made a teacher cry by saying I didn't like Obama. That's how thin-skinned.
Yeah. I certainly think that me making this teacher cry took a lot more effort, admittedly, and making her quit her job. But she really brought it on herself, legitimately. Mrs. Brown. Oh boy, that's a fun story. Mrs. Brown was my biology teacher sophomore year and junior year. And the reason is because I failed, and it's a mandatory class. I needed the credit, so I had to take it again. And she was the teacher they gave me the second time, too. Every day, this bitch come in class late. Significantly, like 5 minutes late. So I had a little mini cassette player boombox, right? Like, yay big. And I'd take it with me everywhere. And also what I had was WWF The Music Volume 3, which has got most of the best classic 90s wrestling entrance themes, right? And so each day I would decide what her entrance theme would be. And when she came into class, it would be like, she'd open the door and it'd be like, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? And everybody would laugh, right? She didn't find that very funny. Mostly because I don't think she understood the joke. Also, I was kind of being a dickhead and pointing out that she was being bad at her job. Then, so she didn't like me for that. Then it was post-Columbine, and look, man, my school would never turn the fucking heat on. That shit was always fucking freezing. So I refused to take off my, not trench coat, because I'm not like an emo F-slur, my leather jacket, right? Because I rode a motorcycle, so I wore a leather jacket. And I'm not taking my jacket off until you turn the motherfucking heat on. It's a normal leather jacket. I guarantee you I cannot hide a gun under it. I mean a pistol, but you could hide a pistol under a t-shirt, right? They said, oh, we can't have you with those because you could potentially be holding a long gun under it. Well, it's a leather jacket. You know what it would look like? It looked like, yep, normal day, guys. Normal day. Oh, what's that under your fucking jacket? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I said, I ain't taking my fucking jacket off. Well, what teacher do you think had to be the one that she had to take a stand? Oh, Mrs. Brown. Miss Brown. Max, you got to take the coat off. No. Max, you got to take the coat off or I'm going to send you to the office. Let me save you the trouble, bitch. And I just walked out. I went down to the office. I had a bit of a relationship with the vice principal who was in charge of me. By
that point, I'm sure, like, you know, you two, like, were on a very, you know.
I'm pretty sure I accidentally killed him because he had a heart attack the year after I graduated and died. Anyway, I walk in his office. Yay, Mr. G, what's up? And he's like, what are you doing here? He knows. And I'm like, oh, I'm not taking the jacket off, so I guess you got to suspend me or whatever. And he's like, did you call Mrs. Brown a bitch? And I'm like, yeah, she is. Yeah. Is that not, it's not okay? Sorry. So from then on, I referred to her as a female dog. And then there was the culmination of when she refused to be my teacher anymore. And that's probably the funniest part of the whole fucking story. So the jacket thing, I got suspended like 6 times for the jacket. That's 6 stories. I just gave you one, right? One generalized version of it because it went down the same way basically every time. I'm not taking my jacket off. Shit's cold in here. Fuck you, bitch.
Now, see,
but the final straw is the great one. She claims that I threatened to hit her in the face with a steel folding chair. Now, for the record, I did not. I did, however, invite her to play the game that me and my other friend were playing in the main foyer while we were waiting for, we had what was called the late bus. If you had detention, there was a bus that would take you home, essentially. So we're because I always had detention, so I'm waiting for the late bus. You could tell I was a grade A student, grade D student, really. Waiting for the late bus, and me and my buddy Jeff, both wrestling guys, right? Decided we were gonna have a chair fight. So we had steel folding chairs just sitting there, and so we were just taking turns whacking each other with fucking steel chairs in the head. And yes, really. I know that's very stupid, but I was like 15. Anyway, Miss Brown comes walking around the corner, and we're doing that, and she's like, boys, what are you doing? And I just stopped, like, mid swinging a chair at his head, and like, oh, we're having a chair fight, Miss Brown. You want to play? And I turned at her, and she goes, ah! And she ran down the hallway, and she went around the whole school. We were right in front of the office when this happened. She ran around the whole school with a giant square to come back to the office, and we're just standing right there. We're like, hey, Miss Brown. And she goes in the office and tells them that I threatened to hit her in the face with a steel folding chair. But it was an invitation to play the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The what?
Consensual.
Yeah. The one time you
Damn it, consent matters.
Okay. Now see, I could have gotten away with the leather coat thing because I actually have a similar story to that. To the jacket thing, because my high school never had working heat either. Right? So I had a leather jacket.
Oh my
And
God, and you were in Colorado. Jesus. They're
Yeah.
probably even crazier about that shit.
Yeah, and not just that, but like okay, so I have two stories regarding jackets that you'll love. So the one that so I have a similar story to the leather jacket one because I would take a leather jacket off, and so my teacher tried to get me to take it off too. And it got annoying, and so like she sent me to the dean, and I told the dean that like I had a medical condition and I was cold and that like I needed to keep the jacket on so that I would be warm, otherwise I would like spaz out. And so like the dean basically like didn't know what to do. So basically the teacher had to let me keep the jacket on because even though respiratory is part of cerebral palsy, they don't know that, and they don't need to know that. So that was kind of how. See,
I'm just like so in with my like reputation as like the problem child that I'm just like, yeah, okay, suspension time, let's go. I'm not even gonna argue. Yep, sure, suspend me.
Yeah, no, well. So my other story
I kind of wanted suspensions, to be fair, because then I didn't have to go to school, and I could stay home smoking pot or whatever, playing video games.
I actually tried to get suspended once, but they wouldn't do it because they were like, oh well, he kind of wants to get suspended.
I got suspended 65 separate times for a total of like 106 days throughout my entire high school.
Here's the thing too, Max. Like you're probably,
and I still graduated. I just graduated with a D-.
Not just that, Max. Not only did you graduate with a D-, but I can tell you that you're probably smarter than most of your peers that you graduated high school with.
Oh, that was the problem. But I had my friends. I had my one boy Pete. We were both like video guys. He was like a goth kid, so we're both video nerds, both into dark, edgy shit. He actually wore a trench coat. I have a funny coat story about him, not me. So he was a year older, right? He was a senior. He would wear his trench coat. They tell him to take it off. So he came up with a plan. You ready for the plan, Sam? First period, we had art class, and the gay art teacher, literally gay, by the way. I'm not just like defaming him. He was a gay guy, and he was a very stereotypical gay guy, right? Like, oh my God, silly. And
oh God, he was one of those.
Mm-hmm. And he would always harp on him about the duster. It was not a trench coat. It was a dust. The same with Columbine. They were dusters, not trench coats. Whatever. Nerd distinction. I get it. They'd get on him about his duster. So what did he do? Well, he formulated a plan to where they couldn't make him take it off because he didn't wear anything underneath it.
Oh, yeah. I
might have even told this on the show before, but so the teacher says, I'm sitting there doing my fucking gay art project for the gay teacher. I didn't know his plan at the time. The teacher says, you gotta take your jacket off. And he says, I don't think you want me to do that. He says, yes, I do. So he stands up. Whoop. Oh my God, put the jacket on. I told you.
Oh my God.
And that's the day that I lost my best high school friend, because he never came back to the school again. I don't know if he got expelled or what happened. But man, was that fucking based. You know what I mean?
That's also hilarious.
Yeah.
I have a similar trench coat story, only mine was like I had like an actual trench coat because I was a nerd.
Right. Sam's story is similar, except that really it's just him in a trench coat flashing people.
No, I was such a nerd that I used to wear like full-blown suits to like school. So like when I wore a trench coat, like it was like over a suit. So one time, like a teacher tried to get me to take off the trench coat, and they told me that it was like a violation of the dress code, but I didn't know that. I'm like, why would wearing a trench coat be like? I was honestly confused.
Yeah, see, that's the difference, Sam. Columbine happened my freshman year. Just to put it into context. That's why they were so freaking out about jackets to like an insane degree. Is because it happened my freshman year. So and by the way, my freshman year was Columbine. My senior year was 9/11.
Oh boy, that's
you can't fucking write that shit. That's
insane.
So yeah, like half or not half, but like a lot of guys in my class then shortly after died in a war. So
I think
most of my friends from high school, I either lost touch with, like that Pete guy because he flashed the gay teacher, or they died in a war. Well, I don't have a lot of friends from back in the day, you know, because they're either dead or I don't know, flashing gay teachers.
Yeah.
Well, and then there was the whole bomb threat thing. See, my school had like well over 100 bomb threats my junior and sophomore year. And the reason for that is a lot stupider than it sounds. The reason for that is because Pete, the trench coat guy, his cousin, Andy, was kind of like the funniest guy I knew, right? He was hilarious. And they were doing a class about business stuff. And so he oh my God, he's making bumper stickers, I guess, was the business idea. And they all had to come up with bumper sticker slogans. And his was, and I quote, "There's a bomb in my pants. Want to defuse it?" And so the hysterical fucking teacher declared that a bomb threat, and the school was evacuated. And people realized that they got out of class. They got out of tests. They got out of gym class. So now it became every fucking day somebody would write the word bomb in like a random time in the bathroom stall.
Oh my God.
Right. And so at first they would just write bomb, but they realized that they wouldn't evacuate for just that. You had to specify a time. So we're getting evacuated from the school now every time some kid has a test he don't want to fucking take, right? And they couldn't catch anybody. They instituted bathroom monitors, meaning people that sit in the bathroom and watch you pee all day. Didn't stop it. Didn't stop it at all. They just started writing it in the hallways. Passing notes, whatever. Finally, they say, hey, we got the standardized test coming up, guys. everybody in the school has to fill this out. And they in the morning period, before school starts, everybody had to do a bit of paperwork. You got to write exactly this and exactly that. Well, the reason for that was that the FBI was doing handwriting analysis. It wasn't about the standardized testing at all. They caught the kid, or they caught a kid. Okay. They caught a kid. He got charged with like 20 some odd counts of terrorism. Again, this was like between Columbine and 9/11. So he got charged with terrorism. And that was my senior year. And they said he did them all. I don't believe that for 1 second. I think he did a few. I think a lot of people did them. I never did because I hated that shit. I hated evacuation. One time, man, I'm still mad about this. It's been 20 some odd years, Sam. He did it during lunch. My senior year, on the last day, we were going to have fried chicken for lunch. The one meal. The one thing I liked. And I got evacuated, and they made me throw my chicken away. And then when I came back, they were out of chicken.
Now that is a shame. That's cruel.
There was no more chicken, Sam. Delicious fried chicken. And he fucking took it from me. That's not true. I threw away my tray and took my chicken with me. And then as I was walking out, I picked like uneaten chicken up off my friend's plates and just walked out with an arm full of fried chicken. And was just standing in the parking lot next to my car like, yeah, this is terrible, this palm threat. You don't fuck with a man's fried chicken, though. I hope he's still in jail for that. Try to take my fried chicken.
Well, I feel bad because it's February and I didn't have any fried chicken this month.
Yeah.
Now see that is how I do edgy jokes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man. Those lunch ladies knew how to fry some fucking chicken, and I wasn't letting that go to waste. Being a big kid like I am. I was a fat kid then too. I always had fat kid, kind of vibe because I like food because I'm so big, but now I don't eat shit like that. Now I've showed the audience my fucking diet. It's like rice, boneless, skinless chicken, and a vegetable every day, pretty much.
Yeah, So now you're on the Michelle Obama school and stuff.
No, because mine actually tastes like food and is nutritious.
That's the other thing, Max, that I want to ask you about.
No, the Michelle Obama lunch plan is like just an empty tray. It's just an empty tray.
Pretty much. So what do you think about this theory that like Michelle is gonna like run as like an October surprise? I don't buy. I don't. For the record,
It won't be her. If they replace him, it's gonna be Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
100% is going to be Gavin Newsom. That's the guy they want.
Look, I don't think they're going to replace Biden.
But neither of those options would beat Trump anyway. Michelle Obama wouldn't beat Trump.
You don't.
I don't think there's a Democrat on earth that can beat Trump in this election.
I mean, I don't think so either. I have relatives.
Dude's polling in general against Biden heads up in the 60 percentiles. Like it's done and dusted, brother. This election, unless, I mean, dude, obviously crazy things can and have happened. I'm not going to rule all that out, but like if everything stays as is and it doesn't matter who they put against Trump, he's going to wipe the floor with him. He's going to probably take like 45 or 46 states.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they'll try and steal it, maybe. But
Silly Kelly says the only person I would vote for instead is Jesus or Big E. Yeah, I like Big E too. You know, he broke his neck last year. It was awful.
wait, Big E as in, I mean, Biggie Smalls is dead.
No, Big E Langston from WWE. Big E, the New Day.
Oh yeah, that
guy's
Big
a big
E.
New Day fan. Or Silly Kelly, girl, whatever.
Yeah, no,
I don't mean to misgender you, Silly Kelly.
I mean, well, I mean, I do, because misgendering Silly Kelly is hilarious. But no, he goes, I meant the Emperor of Man and Warhammer.
No, you didn't. You meant Big E Langston. Because come on, who doesn't love him? He's like Whitfield report. Feel the power. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Yeah, Big E's the man.
Everybody
likes Big E.
I would love.
I don't know if I'd vote for him for president though, but you know.
No. I did see a clip of Trump slapping Vince McMahon though today that someone sent me. So Silly Kelly also says he would vote for a god over Trump, but only a god.
Okay. What about like Cernunnos, the Babylonian god of rape? Would you vote for him over Trump? Like just any god? Just any old god? Or does it have to be a specific god? You're gonna vote for Moloch? You know? Sacrifice your children today. Vote Moloch.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was Richard Spencer's campaign. So that would be Richard Spencer's campaign slogan. So, Kelly brings up a good point. Moloch is already in charge, so no. Yeah, well, you know, I'm pretty sure there are literal, you know, pot-bellied goblin demons in charge right now. So there's that.
You know that the ducks are free. The elites don't want you to know this. You can just take them home.
The ducks are free?
Yeah, ducks are free. I got like 40 of them.
Well, I mean, shoot, duck at the supermarket is like really expensive. So, I mean, why not?
There you go. Nothing like some free duck.
Duck fat is actually really good. But for you, it would probably like kill you. So,
no, that's the funny part. Is like I eat like a health nut. I don't need to.
No, but I can understand why. Because if you had a heart attack, well then, obviously, yeah, that might be a bit concerning.
I still gotta have my beef though.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. It's not like I'm forbid. Like, I don't know. Like, you'll see some people. They'll be like, "Oh, you got a heart condition. You can't eat red meat." That's not what a doctor would tell you. A doctor would tell you, yeah, maybe like once a week.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe cut back. But being a vegan isn't really healthy either for you.
No, not at all.
No.
No, yeah, it's really, really difficult to gain any type of muscle mass without eating meat proteins. Like, and that's the thing. Vegans replace it with like supplements,
Yeah.
most of which are derived from meat-based products.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you tell a vegan that, it'll break their mind.
No,
know.
it's mushrooms. No, it's not. It's
I know,
beef tallow, bitch. That's what's in your supplements is beef tallow.
I know because I shattered a vegan's mind by telling them that. So,
you know what's fun is I was talking about my weight loss at the pot shop. Actually, I was at the pot shop, and usually they're not like hippies. They're all like normies, right? Not like what you would expect a pot shop to be, which would be a bunch of
right.
They're just normal, like 20 somethings. But this one guy, he's like, I was talking to him about weight loss because he notices I walk everywhere. He's like, man, you are a lot thinner than you were about a year ago. And I was like, yeah, I've been, cutting diet. I walk a lot. I run, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I had to go vegan before I could ever lose any weight. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. And I walked away like, nope, we're not going down that road. Not even going to have this fucking argument with a vegan.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Yeah. Well, and with all of the conversations I've had with vegans, it's never like for a health reason. It's always for like some moral reason, which, okay, like
I will say it's about 50-50 with me, but their health claims are always dubious at best. Because I'm looking at this guy. I look at me. Granted, I'm built wide. I'm like a linebacker naturally, but like I look at me and I look at him, and I'm like, yeah, have fun with your fucking soy, fancy person. Caught it.
Yeah, I love how we've talked about like bullying people, like all this other stuff, but like,
yeah, why don't we bully vegans, ladies and gentlemen of the chat? Let me pose you a question. Why are we not bullying vegans?
I used to.
We need to bully vegans. Specifically vegans.
Yeah.
Force feed the meat if possible. Like, get yourself a nice prime rib, right?
I actually did.
By the way, only if you're under the age where which they'll charge you with a major crime would you ever consider this. And also, it's purely entertainment, and I'm just making shit up here. And don't listen to anything I say. Disclaimers out the way. Get yourself a nice big like baby back rib, right? With some delicious barbecue sauce. You're gonna want to get some like good southern shit, right? You don't want to just get any old. You're not getting like the Lloyd's shit prepackaged that they sell at the store. You want some good old fucking southern barbecue. Then what you got to do, and this is important, is you got to tackle them around the waist, okay? Because they have no center of gravity because they're vegans. They can just fly away with the wind, right? So you grab them around the waist, full-blown tackle, Luthez press style, okay? Now you've got them in the mounted position, You're going to use one hand to kind of bat away their arms because they're going to be fighting you at this point. And then the other hand, you're going to have that nice, beautiful baby back rib. You can take off a rib, maybe even pull out the bone. I understand vegans wouldn't really like bones. That's a bit much for them. And so just the meat, because they'll have no problem with that. And you just shove it right in their fucking mouth. And then what you do is with the hand, you're still going to be slapping their hands away. Not that I've ever force fed anybody anything before. You got to take the other hand, and now that you've got the meat in their mouth, you use the other hand to hold it over their mouth so they can't spit it out. And then you tell them that you'll let them up when they finish their meal, like a good boy. So that's what you should. Everybody, I want you out there tackling vegans. Let's go.
Yeah, well,
Just in the streets, anywhere. It doesn't matter. If you see a vegan, force feed that motherfucker meat.
So like Holly says, they have a new fetish.
Hey.
Oh my god.
You're doing it for their own good, okay? They need it. You look at a fucking vegan, you know, like this guy is probably, you know, he's probably on the fucking the LGTB spectrum, right? He's probably not been laid very many times. He probably, you know, is very wishy-washy. Look, you're gonna put that meat in his mouth, and he's immediately going to get stronger. That's the one problem with this, okay? Is once he starts swallowing the meat, you do have to let him go and probably run, because he's gonna go into like a vegan meat rage, and it's kind of like retard rage, right? Where like he's gonna be stronger than he normally would because he's gone full-blown fucking crazy. So you gotta get out. You gotta get in, okay? And I cannot stress the importance of proper technique when you tackle them. So you gotta get in, get him right around the waist, full grip on the waist while still holding the meat in this hand, okay? Lock your hands if possible. Tackle to the ground, force feed, hold mouth shut, wait for swallow, get up, run. That is the strategy.
This
in Minecraft.
This
is how we're fighting back against the left, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna just start feeding these motherfuckers.
Yeah. Now see, vegan chicks don't like me very much. Vegan chicks won't date me at all for multiple reasons.
You tried tackling them and force feeding them meat?
Well, listen. They all claim they're allergic to meat too. So
oh, Sam, they weren't talking about that. They were trying to tell you they're gay.
Oh,
I hate to break it to you.
Oh, yeah. that they were lesbians?
Yeah, they were lesbians because they're allergic to meat. See, they were trying to get that across to you, but you're just oblivious. You're just like, oh, you don't eat meat, huh?
Yeah. Totally. So,
also, gentlemen, eat a steak once in a fucking while, bro. I know it's expensive, but like, you really need it. I see so many motherfuckers out there suffering from obvious low testosterone. Start with eating meat. Well, start by not jacking off so goddamn much. That'll raise your testosterone, you fucking dirty, disgusting fucking degenerate. Then a nice, big, yes, like medium rare or rarer, right? You well done, motherfucker. Look, I enjoy Razor Fist. His content is great. He eats well done steak though, and you can tell because he looks like a fucking vegan. If he ever wants to put any weight on, maybe he'll start, I don't know, not burning his steak.
I eat steak medium rare to rare like 2 or 3 times a week if I can. So
Yeah, it helps keep your tea up.
The
And God knows these young fucks need is all the testosterone they can get because they don't have very much.
that you know what, like in all seriousness, that might actually explain why, even though I'm close to like 30, I have more energy than like all these 18-year-olds that are.
Hey man, I run like 10, 15 miles regularly, right? Like I'm 40. By the way, chat, if you're not 40 and you're not busting your ass like that, how you gonna make me clown you? My old ass clowns you. Oof, that's
How
rough.
listen, how
And the crippled guy and the old man are just running circles around you. What you gonna do?
yeah, how is a guy who can't walk, how do I have more energy than some of you guys? That's what I seriously wonder about.
I'm telling you,
So,
God, the kids now, it's like the lunches at schools are like, it's Meatless Monday. You know what Meatless Monday amounts to? A plate of tater tots. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, I love me a good steak or even a piece of chicken. Like, to me, Meatless Monday would be like, that would be the equivalent of detention for me.
I would
basically.
just be like all about fish then. Well, I would just bring my food from home if it was that bad. Like,
That's what I did for a long time.
I still do fish on Friday. I mean, I was raised Catholic, man. And fish on Fridays. I don't know. Fish and clam chowder that's my jam. I love that shit. Give me some fish and chips with some fucking clam chowder.
Yeah. Lobster bisque is really good too.
It's all right. It's all right. I like lobster salad much better.
Yes, me too.
It's expensive though by the pound.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, especially now. Well, my mom likes she likes lobster rolls. That's like real New England.
Yeah, that's what I meant by lobster salad. I guess, yeah, you put it on a roll, it's a lobster roll. But I used to just get.
Oh yeah,
I worked in a fresh seafood place for a while, and you know what's really, really fucking good? Mako shark is fucking delicious.
yeah.
The juiciest, tasty, because they're actually the fastest fish in the sea. And so their muscle is so fucking lean. And my recipe recommendation, by the way, is to take a whole clove of garlic. You're going to take your piece of shark, right? Take a whole clove of garlic, chop it, obviously peel it, chop it. Take the pieces. Even you don't even necessarily have to chop it. Just take the full fucking clove of garlic, like the little quarter, and just insert it directly into the meat and push in as hard as you can. A little bit of oil about, I don't know, 350, 375 or something like that. Medium to medium high. And just cook evenly on both sides. Garlic stuffed shark is fucking delicious. And also very lean meat as well.
Sounds good.
Also, popcorn shark was one of my favorites. Because I'd be like, hey guys, I'm making popcorn. This was in my prime drinking days too. I should mention that. So I would come home from work and then we would all drink and make crazy fish. And so I'd be like, hey guys, let's have some popcorn shark. They're like, popcorn shark? You don't even mean popcorn chicken? They're like, well, yeah, it's just shark. Delicious.
So like how he says shark is high in mercury. No, that's swordfish that you're thinking of. That's high in mercury. And unless I'm mistaken, and shark is also.
I hear that about every look. I don't know where Silly Kelly's from. Probably not somewhere as close to the ocean. They also probably haven't spent most of their life on the ocean. and they probably haven't worked in seafood. If shark is so bad with mercury, then why am I talking to you right now?
That's a good that's a good question. And see, I know who Silly Kelly is, so I hear it in their voice. But
Well, I know that Silly Kelly doesn't know how to spell mercury because they've tried twice now.
yeah,
I eat shark. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's good.
Anyway, though, on that note,
there's bad stuff in my food. Oh God, I can't eat anything. God, man, turn the fucking news off once in a while. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that I think. Well, that's the real problem. Is the news is like making everyone paranoid. And on that note, buy the Fourth Estate. Pre-order on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a little relevant, isn't it? So we got anything else? Mitch McConnell's gone. We bullied people. Eat fucking meat. Stop. Assault and force feed vegans. What else do we got?
Support the Minds Madness podcast and Andy Sherman. Or Andy Sherm. And then pre-order the Fourth Estate. Unless you're gonna buy the paperback, in which, save your money, but also buy the ebook because you could win a free copy of the paperback. So, win-win.
Hey, and guess what, too? I will also throw in at least one game code for the same contest. So if you don't win the book, you might win something.
That sounds good. So again, pre-order the ebook, send proof of pre-order purchase, and then probably a week or so after it releases, then we'll draw the name. Because here's the other thing, like, I don't want people to pre-order the book and then like cancel at the last minute. So
that would not be helpful, yeah.
Right. So we'll do a week after. So you have the ebook, and who knows, you could get either a physical copy or a game code. So
yeah. I mean, hey, we can't give everything away, but you might not get the physical copy. But hey, you got the ebook and a game code. Especially if you're already gonna get the ebook anyway. Like if you're more likely to read an ebook than get the ebook. I'm on the fucking show. I don't want to sit here while Sam's holding up a copy of his book and I'm like, well, I got it. What am I gonna do? Hold up my phone?
People do that now, and it's weird. I will say that.
Well, I am a heterosexual, Sam, so I won't be doing that.
Yeah, well, hey, look, I buy ebooks, but case in point.
But it's not about, hey, I'm not saying buying an ebook makes you a homosexual. I'm saying being like, see, I got it on my phone.
Well, no.
I'm just too hetero for that.
I bought this. I bought Chicago 63 by a friend of the show, Terrence McCauley. I bought this as an ebook, but I also pre-ordered it special, so I got this hard copy, and it's pretty great.
It's a pretty nifty dust jacket. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is the one thing I am looking. If and when I eventually do a hard cover of my books, I am looking to see if I can do a dust jacket version. So, but anyway, so
Silly
yeah,
Kelly asks, is Sam gay for showing his book? No. Everybody's gay until proven otherwise.
yeah, and I think we've proven that neither of us are gay. So, and on that note, thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.